Hey Lisa, do you remember the first time you had to facilitate a strategy session?
Yeah, I was sweating like it was 110 degrees outside, kind of like California right now. And my stomach is just doing somersaults. I still feel like that sometimes.
Did you feel like everybody was staring at you?
Yeah. And I felt like I had no clue what I was doing because it was all new to me.
So Lisa, what if I told you that you didn't have to feel that way?
Really? Tell me more about that.
Well, in our combined 32 years of experience, I know we've learned that creating meaningful pursuit strategies comes down to asking our clients the right questions and then working with our technical staff to actively listen and disseminate that intel to develop true differentiators and tell a compelling story.
And you know what? We're sweating just a little bit less. We're here because we want to empower marketers so they don't have to feel this way. And the next time they're leading a pursuit, they have the right tools to direct pre sale efforts and the pursuit process so their team stands out.
In this workshop, which is aligned to track one, marketing best practices, we'll demonstrate how to actively listen to clients, capture their needs, and translate them into compelling value propositions, differentiators, and messaging with real time feedback. What makes our workshop different is we will have clients in person to talk about what has resonated with them, what's missed the mark, and to workshop with us.
That's cool. Why don't we tell the selection panel a little bit about ourselves?
Let's do it.
I'm Lisa. Yeah, that's me on the slide. I've been asking questions and telling stories for more than 20 years. My first job out of college was in the newsroom at KPIX TV in San Francisco. Crazy deadlines, but the excitement of breaking news stories. I made the transition to the AE industry about 13 years ago. In my current role, I work on company top collaborative delivery pursuits to develop winning stories across all pursuit materials. I partner with technical staff to develop content that makes sense and is easy to read, not in the weeds. And I coach them for the interview, helping those who are timid to really show their personality and their smarts. What I like most about what I do is finding out what makes people tick, what makes our clients tick. I love asking questions, the right questions, to dig deep and know their story. So, in return, our story speaks to them. The five W's and how are still in my blood.
And unlike Lisa, you can tell that's me. I'm Sarah. And for the conference program, we'll make sure you have current headshots. So, for the last 10 years, I've worked for AE and C firms as a writer, strategist, coach, and a mentor to marketing and technical teams. What I've learned is not to fake it until you make it, but to face it until you make it. Ask questions, observe, and try new methods. Whether I'm kicking off a pursuit or workshopping an interview prep, my intention is to create a culture of vulnerability through empathy with my teams. It's all about helping people feel comfortable to open up. And this philosophy is especially important for our technical teams as they become trusted partners to our clients, really leaning into listening to wants and needs.
What we're really talking about is finding the value our project teams bring to our clients throughout the pursuit process. But what value are we bringing to this workshop? Well, here are four attendee learning outcomes. Knowing what questions to ask to inform value propositions, messaging, and differentiators that speak to the intended audience. Determining what client issues and success factors to focus on when developing these components. Empowering marketers to better partner with colleagues throughout the pursuit process and helping them feel more confident when participating in client pre-sale interview prep and content development. And last, receiving valuable and actionable tips on content development and everything we'll be covering. So that's some of the value we bring to this workshop. Sarah, how are we going to accomplish this? What are we actually going to do?
Well, every exciting journey needs a good roadmap. So let's talk about how we'll get there. First, Lisa and I will briefly discuss our background and successes and our failures around how we've developed compelling pursuit messaging. We want to share what's worked, what hasn't, and a little bit about what makes us qualified to facilitate this workshop.
And do we have stories?
Prior to the workshop, we'll provide a one-page project brief that will provide context, and we'd like to do that through the conference app if possible. And if we can't, we'll save a little time at the beginning of the workshop. We will ask the participants to do some homework and prepare questions for client participants to gain more intel. We'll also provide a cheat sheet of questions to get them started. As part of our workshop, attendees will work on active listening so they can better prep technical staff for client visits and interviews. This will lead them to a SWOT analysis, review, and how to develop a differentiator. And we might have more tools like a competitor analysis because we have to account for the competition and what they'll come to the table with. Attendees will collaborate with their table mates using the resources and tips we provided to weed through intel and develop differentiators. And this exercise will hopefully feel familiar as we've all been thrown into a brainstorming session with new faces to create marketing magic. Lisa and I will circulate to coach teams, and our in-person client partners will be available to answer any additional project-related questions.
Each team will then present to our client participants what they developed and receive real-time feedback on whether their message resonates, if they've truly differentiated their team.
Meaning, did you actively listen to the clients and their needs?
We'll end the workshop with how and where to weave messaging into other proposal sections and the interview, because we all know it's more than just the cover letter. This will include team introductions, call-out boxes, proof points where we've done the work before, and stories teams will tell at the interview. And of course, we'll have Q&A throughout, and as stated in the presentation guidelines, 15 minutes at the end of the workshop, because everybody has questions. We want to make sure that attendees have an arsenal of reference material to apply what they've learned back at work. Hey, Sarah, what will our attendees take away from our workshop?
Well, they'll know how and what questions to ask because we'll practice and we'll give them a questions cheat sheet. They're going to learn what to focus on when developing differentiators and value propositions.
Because it's really all about the client.
They'll feel empowered when partnering with colleagues and facilitating strategy sessions. And because we're environmentally friendly, we will give them an electronic stack of paper full of templates and examples to implement on future pursuits.
Whew, feel better. We're giving them tools. We'd love to bring our workshop to PRC 2023. We want to give attendees more strategies, tips, and tricks for their toolbox to better tell compelling stories that resonate and truly differentiate their teams throughout the pursuit process. We look forward to seeing you there.
I can't wait.